Let's go all the way to the end of the slide and see what they say. Alright, this was wetter earlier. This is not as wet as it was earlier. The new model that just came out says it's going to be relatively normal in terms of precipitation here, with a wet signal for central and even parts of Southern California if we were to verify. But again, we'll go out to the precipitation index, and we'll go back to precip and moisture, and we'll do 24-hour. This will show individual storm systems where they're going to set up across the area. So again, you got to be careful. Again, this is just an assembled member. There's several of them. The ones I have here are EPS, GEFS, and GEPS. No, GEFS and GEPS here. So, you know, we'll start at 120 hours and work our way through. And you can see what we think, again, a northwesterly flow. That's what it's showing here. We got a northwest flow from Montana cutting right down into the plains and then going up into the northeast. And warm ridging out here in the desert southwest would relatively keep it warm and dry across much of the area. See if I can get this thing to work. If it's one thing that's hard about this website is to get it to work. Alright, especially on a laptop. So there's the 31st. We'll go out to the 1st. And you can see precipitation. There's none falling here in the desert southwest. Okay, it's dry. And as we head into the 2nd, not much going on either. Maybe perhaps a little sprinkle or two for parts of New Mexico and Colorado, or snow flurry, depending upon the air temperature. Rain seems to be approaching the central and northern California coast as much as the Pacific Northwest on the 2nd. If this were to verify, heading into the 3rd, we start to see that the rain makes a slow progression eastward, but it doesn't look like it's a gully washer for anybody, except maybe Northern California might get a pretty good soaking or snowfall in the mountains, depending on how mild an intrusion of air this is. So heading into the 4th, you can see the ridge is still holding tight here in the desert southwest. Into the 5th, we start getting a little bit of green painted on the map here. We could be talking some high and mid-level clouds, maybe a few sprinkles. And then as we head through that's as far as I can go right now, it appears. I can't seem to go out more than that. Let me see if I can get it to move. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so now we're on the 5th. Heading into the 6th, it appears that the rain slowly makes its way eastward into Arizona and starts to get some picking up on precipitation. That could be in the form of rain or snow. Snow for the higher elevations, rain for the deserts, of course. But if it's one thing it's screaming, is that it's going to be mild. Not a whole lot of cold air in this pattern at all, if this pattern even evolves. But right now they're calling for some type of pattern change, perhaps. On the 7th, you can see where the precipitation is. Again, nothing too heavy. It's just showery in nature. On the 8th, still some light rain falling into the 9th. Still some very light precip, maybe some brief ridging late on the 9th into the 10th. And then it looks like the next storm will start moving in on the 11th into southwest California and then into Arizona, starting to bring some rainfall then. So again, that's it. Total accumulation during that time will range between 1/10 of an inch to as much as an inch of rain in Arizona, and 1 to 3 inches of rain in north and central California. Southern California, anywhere between 1/10 to an inch of rain as well, if this were to verify, and that's going to be over a 7 to 10 day period, guys. So we'll keep you guys posted. As terms of temperature right now, I'll try to get this up for you if I can get the temperature log up. Let me see. So we'll go to thermal dynamics, which deals with temperature. So we can go to 850 millibar temp anomaly, and it'll give us what we think if we're going to have mild or cold, cold air or whatnot. So we'll go out to 198 hours. You can see this is, screaming cold in the Midwest and into New England. Very cold, even into the deep south. Colder than average conditions. And you can see this is on the 4th. So let's see if there's any type of moderation that's going to take place. Like I said, after the 6th and then by the 11th, we should be more moderated in temperatures. But right now, it doesn't look like any major moderation is going to take place. So this is the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, let's see, the 7th, still pretty cold, but some moderation. 7th, 8th. Looks like we start to moderate on the 8th here in New England. Still a little bit of cold air, but more towards normal. And a cooling signal here along the Pacific coast. That could be because of clouds and precipitation, generally 1 to 3 degrees below normal. Not too bad. And again, maybe some brief warmth surging up on the 9th and 10th into the New England area. It should be relatively south of them, but again, it looks like for moderation, especially for the Carolinas in the mid-Atlantic states, it could be 1 to 3 degrees above normal. Nothing drastic, but a break from the extreme Arctic air mass that is plowing into these regions right now. Unbelievably cold. And then as we head into the 11th, you can see that the cold air kind of just moderates. You know, we have a small ridge here in the Rockies and a small ridge here in the southeast. So we're looking for normal temperatures for the most part for New England at that time. And again, warmer than average conditions in the southeast and relatively slightly cooler than average conditions here up in the Pacific Northwest. And up into the northern Rockies, slightly cooler than average conditions. And again, in the Pacific Southwest here, maybe some cooler than average conditions as well, but not by much. So that's it for this video series, guys. It's going to be in 2 or 3 parts. I just wanted to let you guys know what we're dealing with, to give you an update on the weather and what we'll be looking at. So it definitely looks like the PNA at some point will start to go into the negative category. When that does occur, we'll start seeing a little bit more warmth in the east, or at least normal temperatures, and then some more cooler to normal temperatures in the west, with maybe some rain finally arriving in California. Hopefully this sticks to this and doesn't go back to dry again. But right now it looks like rain may start arriving by the 3rd or 4th for northern and central California, as well as much of the Pacific Northwest, and then slowly working its way eastward and southward into the desert Southwest and into Texas and New Mexico and Colorado as well. So we'll keep you guys posted. But again, main word of advice for the next 2 weeks is bring that heavy coat, gloves, hat, everything, scarf, whatever, to keep you guys warm. Leave your faucets dripping a little bit inside and out if you haven't shut the water off to them, only because they could burst in temperatures like that. We're talking negative values here. So you know, the low temperatures themselves here in the International Falls, up on the western Great Lakes, could be very much in the negative 20, negative 25 degree range. I won't be surprised if a negative 30 shows up for low temperatures, with those wind chills being as low as negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius, excuse me, negative 50 degrees Celsius, below Fahrenheit, below zero. So very, very cold conditions, guys. We'll keep you guys posted. This is Storm Spotter for the National Weather Service. Timothy Breault from Phoenix, Arizona, signing off. Talk to y'all later. Please leave questions or comments below. All questions will be answered in a timely manner.